The third of 5 stakes races Saturday at Del Mar, Pacific Classic Day, is the Grade 2 Del Mar Handicap. It's race number 7, a mile and 3/8 on turf, and one of the most heavily favored runners on the card. Well, it'll be United, the favorite of the Del Mar Handicap. It's number 1 United at odds of 8-5. This is a race in which there are a field of 11, and of the 11 runners in this field, 11 entrants, number 1 United is probably the only legitimate Breeders' Cup caliber type of horse. In fact, he finished second in the Breeders' Cup turf last year at odds of 51-1. The Del Mar Handicap, by the way, happens to be a Breeders' Cup turf win and you're in. So there's a lot riding on United in this race. He can kind of pay all his entry fees going into the Breeders' Cup turf should he pop up and win this race. And frankly, there's not a whole lot of reason to bet against him. Unless, of course, you take a look at the recent winning trainers. And in the last 6 years, Phil D'Amato has won this race 5 times. D'Amato starts number 7, Red King, a contender in the Del Mar Handicap. Let's go ahead and take a look at the entire field of 11, led by number 1, United. He's the 8-5 favorite on the morning line. Flavien Prat will be aboard. This horse has tactical speed. He wins races. He's won his last 3 graded stakes races, all 3 of them, all grade 2s, and he'll be tough to beat. There are other good horses in this race. Number 3, Combatant, is very interesting because you don't see too many winners of the Santa Anita Handicap on dirt switching to grass in the second portion of the year. But that's exactly what number 3, Combatant, is doing, partly because his last 2 starts have been debacles. He finished nowhere in the Oakland Handicap and nowhere in the San Diego Handicap. Both those races were on dirt. Combatant did not have a good trip in either one of those. Down on the outside, post 9 through 11, Oscar Dominguez, Originaire, and North County Guy. 3 long shots. You can't say none of them can win, but it would be a shock if any of them did pop up and win. So let's go ahead and talk about the favorite on the morning line and the best horse in the field, and really one of the better horses on the Saturday card at Del Mar. It's number 1 United, and his win last time out in the Grade 2 Eddie Reed Stakes, it was July 26th at Del Mar. The thing about United, he's in the yellow cap on the outside. He always gets a good trip because he has that forwardly placed running style, and he also can blast home. Now, he only wins this race by a half a length at odds of 7-5, and they were all kind of bunched at the wire. But what was impressive about this win is the Eddie Reed Stakes was run at 1 mile and 1/8. Now, United wants 1.5 miles or 1 mile and 3/8 or more. Those are the distances at which he runs best. So I will give credit to United for winning the Eddie Reed at 1 mile and 1/8, a distance that is shorter than he prefers. It was kind of funny because immediately after that race, trainer Dick Mandela in the post-race press conference, informal press conference, I should add, Mandela said, well, we're going to go for the Pacific Classic for his next start. The only thing that Mandela did not realize at the time is the Pacific Classic purse had been slashed from $1 million, its historical $1 million purse, down to $500,000 this year. Mandela is not against taking a shot on dirt with this turf specialist United, but he doesn't want to do it for only $500,000. If he's going to take a shot in a big race on dirt, it's going to be for a lot of money. $500,000 didn't quite cut it, so United will stick with what he does best, and that's run on grass at 1 mile and 3/8 for a $200,000 purse in a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup turf. Okay, let's talk about a couple of the horses that he will have to beat, including number 7, Red King, whose trainer D'Amato has won this race 5 of the last 6 years. And the most recent start by Red King, well, it was decisive. It was in the San Juan Capistrano. Let's go ahead and take a look. And you watch Red King crushing the field. This is 1 mile and 3/4 at Santa Anita, and he got the all-time great trip, sitting mid-pack behind the pace, and then he drew off through the lane. That is Red King winning in an absolute romp, more than 4 lengths under jockey Umberto Rispoli. And as everyone knows, Rispoli has emerged this summer as the top grass rider in California. And that's not to take away from Flavien Prat, who is equally proficient on grass as Rispoli, but Rispoli is winning grass races in bunches. The reason? He saves ground, he can finish, he's, I believe, a good judge of pace, and he knows where to position his horses. So he did that with Red King in the San Juan, and he's going to back up from 1 3/4 to 1 3/8 on Saturday in the Del Mar Handicap. And if Red King can reproduce that San Juan, he has a shot. He faces a much tougher rival in United than he beat in the San Juan Capistrano. Okay, one more horse to look at, and it was July 24th at Del Mar, and all it was a 2 other than, won by Proud Pedro. But Proud Pedro, he uncorked a burst of late speed that you have to see to believe. It was impressive. Let's go ahead and take a look at Proud Pedro smoking through the lane. He was last early, only a 5-horse field, and he will angle out and blast home to win by, not by far, only 3/4 of a length, but he did it the right way. This is an impressive turn of foot by Proud Pedro. Now, I have to admit, I've always been a fan of Proud Pedro. I thought he was going to be a really good grass 3-year-old last year. Turned out he wasn't quite good enough. As an older horse, you don't know. Is he going to be a claimer? Is he going to be an allowance horse? Well, we don't really know that yet either. All we know is that Proud Pedro, he is a sharp horse moving up in class for a trainer that is having a terrific summer. That's Leonard Powell. And Proud Pedro, listed at odds of 12-1, he has a big shot to at least outrun his odds. I don't know if he's going to be able to defeat United. In fact, I would guess that he probably would not. But one of them is 8-5, and the other one is 12-1. So maybe Proud Pedro is a horse to take a good long look at as far as playing vertical exotics. But when all is said and done, the Del Mar Handicap, it runs right through United. He is rock solid, and he's a short price. In race 7, it's the Grade 2 Del Mar Handicap, Saturday at Del Mar.